Hi, and welcome once again to my channel. How has everybody been doing? Well, tonight's episode of Ready to Love Season 4 Reunion was a blast. I thoroughly enjoyed every second of it. And I must say that Tommy Miles, whatever they have been doing down at that production studio for Ready to Love, they actually gave us a very thrilling season. All the persons, their character developments, everything that they showed, they gave us what we really wanted to see and to talk about. I really enjoyed it. And so going forward, I am sure that I will be reviewing whatever season of Ready to Love there is because I am hooked. As I'm sure many of you are as well. But this first reunion episode, Tommy Miles, our nephew Tommy, as they famously call him, he was really very messy throughout the entire reunion. But I was here for it. Yeah, it was it was very entertaining to watch. Well, of course, the reunion over it, who they were, right? And of course, they previewed, not previewed, they recapped Chris and Amber's relationship. All right, they rolled back the tape. And I am sure all of us are still at the point where we're saying that we really are not sold on the relationship between Chris and Amber. To me, it seemed more like of a brother-sister relationship or a deep friendship or adoration or admiring someone for who they are. You can see yourself as being that person's bestie for life, but not necessarily a romantic relationship. And I was there laughing at Ron's comment. I really did not give my opinion over what he had said, that Chris was a niche market guy. And I would agree with Ron, not in a bad way, but yes, Chris don't seem like the typical dark skinned black male who is attractive, who can get any girl that he wants. Chris is more, he's more delicate, more in tune with his feminine side. And the things that Chris ideally wants out of life. At one point, he said that he wasn't thrilled about getting married, and then at another point, he said he was waiting to have sex when he was married. So all of these things that we get to learn about Chris, we realize that Chris really wants to settle down, I think, but he doesn't want to lay himself careless to any girl who comes along. That is typically not the male opinion. That's more like a number of females, like Liz, for instance, who would want to save themselves for that right person. But if Chris is a niche market guy, I would also say that Amber is a niche market woman, right? In that when I saw the rollback for Amber, where the Amber and Khalil was having that conversation, and Khalil continuously was saying something about mean girls to Amber. I think he was really saying that Amber was a mean girl, and I kind of see mean girl vibes from Amber. Amber is not really friendly with any of the ladies. Although Alexis said that she trusted Amber and she went and she talked to Amber, but then you get to see that Amber betrayed Alexis. So Amber to me seemed not the typical female either. She is not friends with any female. She's all about getting what she wants. And I will talk about Amber later on down in my review. All right. Then nephew Tommy, of course, it recaps Kyra and AJ's relationship, and he highlights that at one point everybody wanted Kyra, right? And if you go back to some of my reviews, I talked a little bit about that and what it meant for Kyra. Kyra is an attractive woman. There's no denying that in terms of looks, in terms of personality, Kyra has that it factor. And if you don't believe, if you don't want to agree, that's fine. Everybody has their favorite in this show, right? But if you look at it, if Kyra was not on the last episode, how many of you would be sitting down to watch Liz and Jason? Or sitting down to watch Chris and Amber? Or Joel and Vernisha? All of those couples, to me, they did not really bring it. They are somewhat boring to watch. But with when you put in the dynamic of, a third wheel, a third person in their relationship, then it becomes interesting. So that's why I said I give my hats off to nephew Tommy and the production team for, bringing the mess to us. Now, of course, the question was asked by Kyra, why was there a problem with her and with her being desired by four of the men in the lounge. What do you call it? The man's lounge or the man's cave, whatever. And of course, we hear Miss Alexis stating that, Kyra likes to play Monopoly and she likes to play chess. And I think Kyra is just at that point, not necessarily at the reunion, but maybe she got that information before that Alexis was actually, talking badly about her behind her back. And for me, I would agree with Kyra in the sense that she said, why would Alexis have a problem if the men, if Alex, not why, if Alexis has a problem with the men desiring her, then why didn't Alexis ask the men about that? Because what does Kyra has to do with any of that? Kyra does not have anything to do with that because she didn't tell them to go and call her name. She never forced anybody. She never forced herself, unlike Alexis, who likes to force herself on men. And then again, you see, that is the whole thing. We all tend to judge people based off of our own actions. So sometimes when you see people talking about you or saying things about you which are untrue, sometimes the best you not even bother give them the time of day, because sometimes they're just saying things based off of what they themselves would actually do. So because what's she name there now? Alexis, she likes to push herself up on men. She believes probably that Kyra is doing the same thing in order for these men to now desire her. But we see from what we saw that that was not the case, right? But why do women are hell bent on, always blaming the woman for anything? Anything as it relates to relationships, whenever you're having an issue with something that happens between a man and a woman, right? Especially when a man goes out and cheat, we want to blame the third party, the woman who is cheating with, to say that if the woman was not there, then the man wouldn't cheat. There is not usually any accountability, any blame placed on the man, right? To say that he is the one who stepped out of the relationship. And I'm glad that Vernisha seems to be friendly with Kyra. And in this case, Vernisha, who is the one who genuinely would be the one to question why Joel had stated, called Kyra's name, Vernisha obviously has not placed any blame on Kyra and has given the heat all to Joel. So for that, I commend Vernisha for that. But Miss Alexis, who clearly is delusional when it comes to relationships, she's the type who wants to then blame the female for the actions of the males. And I agree with Kyra. Ask the men that. If you are having a problem with them choosing Kyra, Kyra was not even in the room. So go and ask them that. All right. Now, Miss Tressa was not at the reunion, and nephew Tommy introduced her. She came on screen to us, and I was there wondering how come Tressa here looks so nice, face look well put together. Why didn't Miss Tressa present this image when she came on the show? Right, Miss Tressa, you do yourself a disservice because although we are all proud to wear our afros, okay, we know that it's not necessarily the type of hairstyle that men are in, especially black men, being drawn to. This is just the truth, right? We're not saying that we're not proud of our blackness. We are. But we know that when it comes to the romance department, many of these men are not going to be drawn automatically to the woman with the afro because we ourselves as women have caused our own image to become too masculine, right? So when men see us, they don't associate femininity. I can't even call the word femininity. Femininity. They don't associate that word with us and our image, right? So you see, even my friend there on screen, Miss Kyra, is she has on a nice long wig, which is straight here. That's not our natural look. But when Kyra walks into the room with this, all the men's eyes are drawn to that particular look, right? We have nothing to do with, what narratives are placed out there. But as women, you have to be aware that these are the things that men are going to be looking at. And so, if you want to attract them, of course, you're going to put yourself in a position to attract them. So, Miss Tressa, she really did herself a disservice by coming with the afro. I just thought that she could have put herself together better, but she did in the end, stated that she and her personality them good. Tressa is a beautiful lady. And at the reunion, what she had on and how she presented herself, I really liked it. I loved it. Right? They also talked about Ida and Khalil being somewhat of an item. And the minute Ida opened her mouth, me have to say to myself, say, but Ida, me don't know which man really want you. Ida, me don't know. Ida have a very negative persona. I did not like what she said. And although Khalil kind of wrapped himself up, he became tongue tied in explaining himself. Maybe he was just stringing along Ida and he felt embarrassed to say that him and Ida was an item. And maybe he wanted to get ahead of that by stating it before Ida did. That, hey, look, Ida and I, we are really together. We are dating, right? But he didn't want it to seem like, he was hiding the whole thing. But Ida, she just jumped out of the gate and said, oh, me and imagine you didn't say that you were going to come out public and whatever. But Ida, you need to go sit down somewhere. Sit down somewhere, Ida. Of course, they reviewed Ron and Alexis's relationship. And yes, it is clear that Ron was being condescending. And at times, Ron, yes, you were lying when you stated that Amber and you were dating and that you went out on many dates. And then they caught you in that lie by saying that, sorry, excuse me, they caught you in the lie when Amber questioned you about it, and you ended up admitting that you only went out on one date. But for me, there is something missing from what Amber is saying and what Ron is saying. I think that something sparked between Ron and Amber. Amber, however, being an attorney, she knows the facts of the case, and so she is, doing whatever it is that she needs to do in order to protect the image that she has created for herself and Chris, right? Um, Alexis and Ron. Alexis, you and Ron never even started. So I don't know how Alexis keep referring to how she and Ron were together and they were not done and the horse dead and the cow fat, right? But my personal feeling is that Alexis and Ron were never in a relationship. I think that Ron entertained Alexis because she was the one that gave him most attention without him having to work for it. And we see that Alexis does that with every person that she's interested in. She gives off the, you know, predator vibe, the one who is seeking the prey, right? And that is something that normally men are the ones who are supposed to be, hunting. So even with the first date between Alexis and AJ spoke a little bit about that Alexis was a little bit too forward, in her actions, even more so than him, which we know that AJ is a lot laid back. He's not the type to be forceful or to make his presence felt. But Alexis, from she walks into the room, everybody, it's to Alexis's own credit. Alexis also was to me the second most interesting person on the cast, right? Because Alexis commanded your attention. And anytime she's on screen, you listen to, you pay attention to, you have something to say about what she's saying. So she's very entertaining. She commands your attention. But at the same time, Alexis, being a female, she needs to understand how to tone it down. So when she's in a room with other males, she has to understand how her presence, how her aura attracts or, pushes men away. So for Alexis, I am just saying, you and Ron, you were never an item, Alexis. You and Ron were never an item. So I don't know why you kept saying that your relationship was never done. You just don't understand how the dynamics work in a relationship and you want to be the man in the relationship. All right? And Ron is even equally equally delusional as Alexis. Maybe the two of them really should have coupled up together, because Rana thought about Alexis was cheated on him with AJ. So how Rana go say Alexis was cheating when him even say Alexis couldn't do nothing for him at the end, right? And that he was done from long time. So how is it that Alexis was cheating on you, Ron? You have to go explain that the part to me. Me don't understand it. Me don't understand it. Then of course, nephew Tommy with his, messy self, he went on to talk about, you know, how the men they were very vulnerable this season. Yeah. And that was true. There were many moments in which they delved into their feelings, their true emotions, like David, for instance. We even saw David crying on screen. We saw Jason crying. We saw Joel crying. We saw AJ crying. Um, Ron, never really see Ron crying, but Ron did express his feelings to Alexis at the end that he kissed Amber. They were very vulnerable. And when they were in the visitors' lounge, they really did talk a lot about their feelings and express themselves a lot. And this was encouraged by nephew Tommy. And this is where I say, in terms of the show itself, I thought they would have showed nephew Tommy's wife a lot more. And I think they should include her include Nephew Tommy's wife to be the one who meets with the ladies in their lounge instead of Tommy Miles meeting with the ladies. Him meeting with the men, that part is very good. But when he meets with the ladies and then to give advice as a man to women on relationships, I think that is a fault in the show itself. I think they should allow his wife to play that role, right? Now, if that was the case, then you wouldn't hear Stacy pointing out that there was a double standard among the men, right, as opposed to the women. And that part I really did have to commend Stacy for that when Stacy pointed it out. I mean, all the men, when you're in your visitors lounge, you're encouraging the men that they are vulnerable and they're friendly with each other. There's friendly competition, right? All the men can say, I choose Kyra. So why the same thing can't go for the women? If the women want to be friendly and share how they feel about the men with each other, and we know that okay, such and such is after both of us, but at the end of the day, we have no hard feelings between each other, right? So it don't matter. We're in this process and we're encouraging and uplifting each other, right? So if that, as I said, if the show had, foreseen that, allowing for a female to be there for the females, then this wouldn't have happened. But there were several other double standards within this show. And part of it also was that the man, whenever the man was to choose a female, right, they always, say, make sure you're choosing the right person, and, they would get whatever amount of space to do that, right? They could date multiple women. But when it came to the women now, you hear like Ron, for instance, saying how um, Alexis cheated on him by kissing AJ. How Alexis cheat on you? Then no one dating show you, Ina. You know did go kiss Amber and kiss other women. So why is there a problem with Alexis kissing another male if she is interested in 10 other males? It's a dating show, right? So yeah, I did see that there were a lot of double standards between the different sexes, male and versus female. You saw also where when what's her name again, Kyra wanted to say something while Liz was talking, and then nephew Tommy just used his hand and shut up Kyra. Yeah, Kyra should have really listened rather than be so combative towards Liz. But at the same time, wouldn't nephew Tommy really have done that if it were two males talking? Would he have done that? I don't think so. I don't think so. Anyways, I thought Alexis did not really, did not. I felt a lot of embarrassment for Alexis, right? Alexis just remind me of one of my cousins who she really don't know how to determine when somebody really is for her. And it kind of, it cringy. You feel embarrassed for them that they deserve someone who really and truly loves them, because you know that this person is so nice and should find someone who really wants to be with them, and you want it for them, but it can't happen because guess what, enough for them head, them not see themselves the way how you see them. And Alexis even mentioned it, at the end when AJ sent her home, she said something about until God is, or she accepts God and see herself the way how AJ saw her. She said something like that. I don't remember the exact words. But basically what she said, she not see herself in a one highlight. She sees herself at the bottom of the barrel. She is a woman who is very insecure and not very confident. So, because of that, she tends to settle for less than what she ought to get for herself. And that is really sad. as I said, I was very embarrassed for Alexis. I like Alexis, but Alexis, when it comes to relationship, you're a damn fool. You're fool. You don't know how to pick and choose men. All right. Now this final thing at the end of the reunion where we get to find out that Alexis has been dating AJ, right? And when when the show ended, of course, she had to go and reach out to AJ to ask AJ, say, um, if everything that you said was real. When somebody break up with you, accept that there's somebody no want you, Alexis, and move on. Just hold your head straight and don't look back. When somebody rejects you, take it as rejection. And nobody go ask them how hard or how soft was the rejection, sir. Somebody did tell you if you reject me, me no want know. Right? So that is where Alexis went wrong. The same thing happened with Kyra and when Kyra went back to Jason to question Jason. Kyra knew that Jason had rejected her because AJ made it known to Kyra. But AJ deliberately made it known to Kyra by saying, Kyra, you are not ready for love. So Kyra there, so right there, so no one say, listen, all the men have unanimously agreed, including Jason, that you are not ready and you must go home. And so if you want to stay here with me, I will let you stay. So basically, AJ was telling Kyra that listen, Jason reject you. All right, but I still want you. And Kyra so fool for go back go ask Jason, how was the rejection, Jason? Who tell you to reject me, Jason? You stupid. You not do that. When a man rejects you, you tell him thanks. Clear the way for the next person because me done with you. You done with me and me done with you. So move out of the way and make the next person come because you have blocked the progress. You know, go back to the person who did reject you. Go ask them why. Okay? That's just my thinking. Yes, in your own analysis of the whole situation, sit down by yourself and determine, what did I do wrong? You don't need to go ask the person that. Sit and ask yourself, what did I do wrong? Where did I go wrong? What was my whole thing in this result that I got? Do I need to change anything about myself? Is there something that I personally am putting off people? If maybe this is the 10th person that has rejected me, is there something within me that is causing them to reject me? It could probably not be you still, even though 10 somebody reject you, right? Because just like Ron say, you have a niche market guy out there, be a niche market woman. You can be a person who is in a group by yourself and just waiting on the other person over there. So to come join your group because your group is not a big group. Okay? You are targeting a specific market. You don't want the regular guy, the one them out there where everybody want and who everybody using. Okay? So you need to make sure that you understand who you are and where you're going. Don't wait on a next person to tell you. Both Kyra and Alexis are looking at another person to let them feel secure within themselves. And as a woman, you have to understand that and make sure that you're not making that mistake. Okay? Now, Alexis gets a second rejection. Alexis, you end up get a second rejection when AJ now is asked the question, right? AJ is asked the question by Mr. Tommy Deere, who was being very messy the whole time. You know, which one of these two ladies are you interested in? Oh my God, I felt so bad. And then now to hear that you were dating AJ on the side. So not only were you rejected on the show, you went and put yourself in between AJ and Kyra for a second time. And now on screen again, AJ for the second time is rejecting you. and still wanting to pursue Kyra. All right. And I feel that AJ is being genuine when he said that, yes, he's still interested in Kyra. I feel AJ is very interested because for them to have gone on 2 dates prior to the show means that he was interested from day one. Okay. And they obviously have crossed paths within whatever circles there are. So this he knows who Kyra is, and he has already assessed the situation and said, this is a woman that I would like to have. And I really think that his mother was, AJ's mother really wanted Kyra too to be a part of AJ's life. Kyra, however, does not know what she wants, and that's where the problem lies. Kyra does not know what she wants, unfortunately. So, for the next episode, we will hear what Kyra has to say in regards to Mr. AJ. And the episode ended on that note. And we get a preview for next episode where Joel, Vernisha is saying that Joel is basically single. And who is surprised at that? I don't think that Joel and Vernisha's relationship is going anywhere. All right. Vernisha is obviously a woman who, knows what she's about. She is, going in a particular direction. She wants a husband. She wants somebody to partner with. Joel, on the other hand, although he says he's looking for a mother for his children, right? I think Joel is somewhat at a point in his life that he's at a midlife crisis, and in probably trying to date around. He was in serious relationships prior to you know his wife's passing. From other blogs that I've seen, they have said that Joel's wife died um, after she divorced him. So it wasn't that they were actually living together, right? So Joel come on the show and make it seem like, I had these children with my wife and my wife passed suddenly, and no, I don't know what to do. That's not exactly how it went. So Joel has been living the single life, and I don't think he really wants to settle down with someone other than the fact that he knows that he is committed to his children, and anybody who comes into his life has to also be a part of his children's life. So me not really see the two of them. I mean, Vernisha, she's a businesswoman. From what I understand, anybody who is in business, you hardly have time for yourself. And Vernisha's children seem to be grown, right? So I don't see her wanting to stay home and take care of younger children. And that is what would happen if she and Vernisha were together. But Vernisha, she's so beautiful. She's a beautiful woman, businesswoman. But no, we're going with that relationship on the pie. But we'll see for next week's reunion what happens, and I will be back to review. For those persons who are watching, could you please hit the like button, subscribe if you like my review. And I would like to thank all the persons who have shown support. Yay! Over the past few weeks. I really appreciate it. I really do. And sometimes, you are here during this pandemic, and when we make connections between yourself and other people, whether from here in Jamaica or around the globe, it's always nice to share opinions and thoughts with each other. And that's why I decided to, start my channel here on YouTube. So this is all I have for you regarding Ready to Love Season 4 reunion. Hope you have a good night. And when I have more, I'll be back. So that's all for now. Bye.